Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I kind of just wanted to touch base a little bit. If you watched my last video, you saw that I started a new job a couple weeks ago in a med-surg unit at a local hospital. It's just a couple minutes down the street from my house. I've been there for about 2 weeks now, and so far it's been really good. I've learned a lot. The first couple days that I was there, obviously we had COVID patients. You guys, COVID is about to ramp back up again in the hospitals. We had like 3 or 4 um, patients when I first got there, the first 3 days that I worked. And I came in on my second shift and one had to be intubated. And I really didn't know what to expect or what to do. Ended up having to kind of hold the patient down and keep her from pulling her tubes out of her mouth. So that was interesting. Never been in that situation before, obviously. I've never worked in a hospital before. But I have used several of my nursing skills, which I felt like I was lacking at my last job. If you guys watched that video too, I wasn't using really any nursing skills at my last job. So now I feel like I am utilizing the skills that I learned in nursing school, and that I'm able to kind of build up on that. And you know, we've done some straight cats so far, hanging blood, and I wasn't sure like what exactly the scope of practice for LPN working in a hospital was. So I had to ask my preceptor, are LPNs even allowed to do blood products? Because as far as I know, we weren't. But she said that we are at the hospital that I work at. Pretty much the LPNs do the same thing that RNs do, besides maybe 1 or 2 things. And it's not that, far and few between, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. There are several LPNs that actually work at my hospital, and that hospital utilizes nursing LPNs just like any other nurse, which is a good thing because there's no limit on what you could do working as an LPN. So that's a good thing, and I was excited about that. Also, let's see, we did some straight cats. Um, I don't know. The hospital is a lot different than anywhere I've ever worked. I mostly worked in doctors' offices. The majority of my healthcare career in general. So there is a lot of learning to be done, and I feel like I've done that. Already started with that. Doing assessments on new admissions and getting report and being able to make sure that you give report to the oncoming nurses correctly. I haven't had a chance yet to put in any IVs, but that's one of those things that kind of you do it as it comes. So I'm looking forward to be able to do that. And a few other things. I'm going to be on orientation for about 8 weeks, I believe. They said if I needed more training, or after that 8 weeks, I could get an additional 4 weeks if I like to. But as of last week, I've already been given, well, my preceptor asked me if I wanted to do the total care for 2 patients, and we were working together, so we had a total of 4, I believe. So I took 2 and then she took 2. Did all the charting for that, and the charting is kind of I don't know how to word it really, but it takes about a half hour or so to chart on one patient. But then you have to do it multiple times throughout the night, which is okay for the shift that I'm working, because I'm on night shift and it's a little bit more manageable. I've seen the day shift nurses walking around, and literally they got a lot going on. One of the aides for the day shift walked out last week. They're just kind of short on nurses, I guess because of the location that the hospital is in. I'm not sure, but we are a little bit short staffed, but that's everywhere and that's to be expected. But like I said, I kind of like working on night shift because it gives me the opportunity, being a new nurse, to learn the proper way to do everything, and it just gives me a little bit more time to be able to get through my shift and do exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's a good thing. I would probably not be able to work on day shift. I don't think I can handle it. Obviously, there's no management at night. There's no nursing supervisors at night. We have charge nurse. Then that charge nurse is actually, well, we have several charge nurses, but the one that that's precepting with me is most of the time charge nurse. So she's got a lot of duties of her own to do. But anyway, she's really good preceptor. She asked me if I'm comfortable with everything or how I feel about doing working with the Pyxis, and if whatever else that she showed me. I do know that I'm gonna need some more practice on setting those IV pumps. I think they use like Plum 360 IV pumps. I've tinkered with it a couple times, but I'm not completely comfortable yet. Hanging the bags is fine. It's setting the flow rates and all that stuff, being able to make sure whatever the doctor's orders are that you set that machine according to that. But obviously everything comes with practice. So I'm gonna need some more work on that. It's fine. Totally okay with that. But like I said, I've only been there for 2 weeks. I've got about 6 more weeks on orientation, and then I'll be able to self-schedule, which is also good because I can obviously schedule myself for what shifts I want to work. They do have this thing right now to kind of help pick up other shifts, and they're offering like bid shifts where you get to kind of tell them how much you want to be paid for working extra shifts beyond what your schedule is. And they said that you get like 45% of your base pay. 45% added on to your base pay. I already get an extra $3 shift differential for working nights, and then I get extra $2.50 for shift differential working on weekends. And that's pretty good as a fairly new LPN, I think, in my opinion. Obviously, I can't pick up any shifts right now being on orientation still. I think I have to wait until my 8 weeks is up. But once all of that is done, there is a possibility that I will pick up a shift. I also got hired to work in pediatric home health. I have not started those shifts yet. I still doing some training with that as well. But I figured if I'm only working 3 nights a week during the week, that I could pick up more shifts doing home health. Those are also 12-hour shifts, but right now I'm just gonna do like a part-time PRN thing until I feel more comfortable. But everybody knows most nurses got 2 jobs. I actually have 3. The third job is just a contract position that I do MDS assessments from home. Just kind of call the patients and ask them questions. It's for CCSP waiver programs, like for Medicaid. I don't do those often. I just do those whenever my contractor calls me or texts me and asks me if I can do an assessment. Those aren't hard at all. It just takes about an hour to do all this stuff over the phone, and then you've got to do care plan assessments after that. So all in all, it takes about 2 hours to complete one patient's assessment. I get paid decent to do that, but like I said, it's not my primary job. It's just was something for extra money. And like I said, if there's no assessments to do, I don't do any work. Last month I didn't have any assessments at all. Month before that I had 2. The month before that I had 2. But that's just extra. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I've been up to. If there's any nurses, LPNs or RNs that could give me any tips, if you work in med surg, if there's anything that I could do to kind of like be a better nurse, anything that would help me get through my shift, some tips and tricks that you guys may have used, let me know. Comment down below. I just want to know, like, because I still don't know what to expect. So any help that I could get outside of the actual hospital, any help in general, I would very much appreciate it. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.